Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Aries for August 2015. Go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, to see more about my current offerings, including my new offering, Unleashing Your Money Magnet. It's a power-packed webinar, and while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter and become part of my community and receive all the perks that comes along with that. So what do we have going on in August? We have things to talk about specific for August. We have a prelude of things to come in a couple of departments that we have to talk about for things that are starting in August, but are starting longer themes. So let's just get right into it. First of all, we've got this huge grouping, you could call it a party, of planets, all starting out at least in Leo, clustered in your fifth house. So all Aries, early, middle, and late degree placements have this huge cluster of energy in the fifth house. For you early degree placements, this is like an ending party. Like you've had a long-term transit there, which was Jupiter, and now there's all of these planets clustered there. It's kind of like ending off in a big way, having that focus on the fifth house, which we'll talk about what that is. And for you late degree Aries placements, this is like the kickoff party because you've got all this energy in August in the fifth house that's starting this long-term transit of energy that the earlier placements have just gone through that you're just getting warmed up with. So let's talk about what the fifth house is. The fifth house has to do with fun and romance and artistic expression, athletic abilities, music, creativity, hidden talents, talents that you're aware of. This is relaxation house. This is the lessening of your responsibilities and having more fun house. This is travel and fun and recreation. Fifth house. So you've got multiple planets there, and for every planet there you have more lines of potential energy of manifestation. This is also the house of true love, it's called. So the earlier degree placements are just now finishing as of August 11th. Once Jupiter moves into the sign of Virgo, you're finishing this year transit that started last summer, accentuating this house. So many people will have had a very creative year, especially you early and middle degree placements. You've had a very creative year, a lot of artistic expression, musical expression, like we talked about. If you're an athlete, a lot of high performance and improvement in your game or recognition. You may have had a child. You may have become pregnant during the transit. You may have had a lot of really good times with your kids during the transit. You could have had a relaxing time. You know, all of these things were things that Jupiter was bringing to your fifth house. This fifth house is also fun in the way it's the house of hidden talents. So something that you could be good at that all this time, however old you are, you didn't even know, and it comes to you either because you're drawn to it or it just shows up in your life and you actually are really good at it or just really enjoy doing it. This is the house of pleasure. So there's all of that energy from Jupiter, the great beneficent, bringing growth and expansion and opportunities in that house. Now you've also got Venus there. You have, for all of you except the very early placements, you'll have the new moon there on August 14th in Leo. You have a Mercury there. You have the sun there. So each of these planets are like people at a party, and the gatherings in the skies are like parties, however they fall in your chart. So because Aries people have everything to the nth degree, you have what's called a natural chart, then everything is what it is and then grander. So the fifth house of Leo is ruled by Leo, and all these planets are in Leo, and all these planets are in your fifth house. For other signs, this congregation, except for ones that are really close to Aries or cuspy right there, this congregation of Leo planets that belong in the fifth house, you know, from their sign of Leo, they're clustering in a different house. So there's two different layers of what's going on. But for Aries people, it's like Leo, Leo, and then in the Leo house and Leo, Leo. It's just excessive and extra, just all about passionate creativity and growth in that sector of how you're expressing yourself in the world. Now that Jupiter is moving into Virgo, for you early degree placements, you're ending this theme. So all of those planets that I just mentioned, they're kind of like having your last like big hurrah in that section of your life. And now it's going to start for you early degree placements, and this is coming later for your middle and later degree placements, is Jupiter expanding your 6th house. Let's stop for a second and talk about why this is staggered for different placements. This is so important, and it takes me a lot of extra time to do the readings, to split it up this way, but I think that it's worth it, because otherwise you're not getting as much accuracy in the reading as you could if you understood that if your placement is early in the Aries degree, like if your birthday is early in the Aries sign, or if your rising sign is early, you know, between like 0 and 10 degrees, your horoscope chart looks almost totally different than someone who has a late degree placement, who has their birthday closer to Taurus, who has their late degree, their rising sign in the 20s, you know, especially getting later into the 20s. If you have a late degree Aries placement that you watch horoscopes for, definitely consider starting to add to your list watching the Taurus horoscopes. And whenever I talk about Taurus, early Taurus, you late degree Aries people, your charts actually look a lot more like the early Taurus chart than they do the early Aries chart. So you might pick up some pieces there. So still listen to Aries, but then add Taurus in for picking up some specific pieces. So the analogy that I'm using this month that is really resonating with me to explain why your experiences are staggered depending on the degree is the idea of a marching band. So let's spread out the 30 degrees of Aries. It's 30 degrees, there's 360 degrees in a circle, which is the sky around us, and then we have 12 signs. So 360 degrees divided by 12 is 30 degrees in each sign. So someone could have a planet at 0 degrees or 1 degrees of Aries, or 20 degrees, anywhere between 0 and 29 degrees. So the people with the early degree placements, like between 0 and 10 degrees, are here at the front of the line where the marching band is going to come. And the marching band is this busy grouping of planets, okay, or the one big transit like Jupiter. All the other planets I mentioned, they come in and they're there for a short amount of time and then they pass through. But longer term transits with planets that take longer to get around, those timelines are stretched out even further. Whereas it might take a month or 6 weeks to move through a sign for these planets that are closer to us. For the outer planets, the ones further from us, it takes a longer amount of time. Okay, so we've got the early degree Aries, the middle degree Aries, and the late degree Aries standing in a line on the street. The marching band is going to come from here. So the marching band comes with all these different instruments that are the planets that I named that are in that sign. There's all those different layers to the experience, right? And they come and they're making a racket over here with all of their noises and all of that. And it's very upfront for the early degree placements. Now these middle degree placements can feel the energy amping up. Wow, that's coming. Not quite there yet, or starting to piecemeal, not quite there yet, but really strong. It's right over there, but not right in front of them. The late degree placements can hear the band. It's like, ooh, something's happening. I hear something. The excitement is gathering. Things are increasing. But it's going to be a while before it gets right in front of them. That's what these transits are like. So then when the early degree placements are like, have all of this stuff happening, woo, right in front of them, then it passes on, and whatever is behind them, I'm calling it like the post show, you know, then they move on to whatever the post show is their focus, but they still hear the marching band. It's kind of like leaving, but it's still present. And that's how it is for the probability of manifestation. So you increase your odds of having an experience when it's more up and front and center for you, and that takes time. So Jupiter takes a year to move through a sign or a house. So while these early degree placements of Aries have been already starting to experience expansion in the 6th house, which we'll look at that, opportunities in the 6th house, benefits in the 6th house, you're just now, late degree placements are just now really starting to feel the experience of Jupiter expanding your 5th house. And it's a totally different experience. Okay, so for you early placements, I'm going to describe many of the things that will likely come along with this year-long transit from August through the beginning of September of 2016, August of 2015 through the beginning of September 2016. And then know that for every degree later you have in the sign, it's going to be staggered a little bit in its influence The middle degree placements, you'll start to feel it stronger as we get more into 2015, and then towards the end of 2015, the beginning of 2015, that'll be really strong for you. And the later degree placements, you're not going to really experience these benefits in the 6th house as much until next spring or summer, depending on your placement. So what does Jupiter look like in the 6th house? Well, Jupiter is the great benefic. It's the expander. It brings growth. It brings opportunities. It brings benefits. So the 6th house is your work house. It's your day-to-day work. So many people are going to have a major improvement in their job circumstances, whatever that looks like for you. So for some people, that's going to look like a new job. And it's going to be awesome, much more awesome than the experience you had. Some people are going to experience this as, if you're self-employed, you might have a massive amount of work. When Jupiter's in the 6th house, it usually brings a lot of busyness. So if you do make a step up that where you make more money, you're probably going to be busier. But Aries probably would like it that way because you get really bored easily. And if you just are kind of, sitting around at a desk, you're going to go crazy. So the busyness is actually good for you, I'm sure. And that will likely bring more money. There's also major health benefits coming for your health. If you've been having long-standing health problems, this is your best year in 12 years to really start expanding your health. And remember, if your degree is middle or later, this is going to take a little bit longer to kick in, but it is coming for you. So enigmatic health problems, multifaceted health problems. This is an amazing time for medical procedures or programs to really take foot, and really help resolve things in your life. Now, while I'm saying all this, remember that in August, Venus is still retrograde. So even though this is a long-term transit, remember in the actual month of August, anything involving work or money that comes in that's brand new, you have to look at it carefully, especially if there's no ties to the past. And to get more information on this, I made a whole separate video called Venus Retrograde, which you can search for on my channel, Annie Botticelli YouTube, and then put in Venus Retrograde. And I went in very much in depth to what to do during Venus Retrograde, what to not do, what to avoid, caveats, things that are really important for you to understand that I don't have time for in this individual video, but you really need to know because Venus rules love and beauty and money, and these are the kind of things that people are asking about, especially the love and money stuff. So be cautious with some of these new things that come in August because you might not be seeing them very clearly, but know that in the longer term picture, this energy is very much supported for you, both in love and money. Okay, so if you have been wanting to start a meditation program, this is again one of your best times. Meditation is something that you do every day, that is best to do every day, and the benefits are cumulative. So any lifestyle change that you make, yoga, things with your diet, things with supplements, things with your health, things with exercise, are really going to have a major boost with Jupiter in this house. Now, if you have a sweet tooth and you have an unresolved sugar addiction, this can be one of the negative aspects of Jupiter, is that it can bring more of things. And so if you're not trying to gain weight, you could gain weight while Jupiter is in the 6th house if you don't use the energy to put towards your lifestyle protocol that will help you to lose weight. Now, if you are a person who has been trying to gain weight, to some people this sounds crazy, but there's a lot of people who struggle to keep weight on, who struggle to get up to what their healthy weight is. And for you, this is going to be your best friend because this really will help you add muscle. And also if you're trying to add muscle, if you're at a weight that you are comfortable with, but you want to add muscle, this is amazing because it's additive. Jupiter just adds to things. And the 6th house is one of the houses of your physical body, your health. So it's like you're adding to your body, you see? And so how are you going to use that energy? Are you going to use to adding to your health? Are you going to use to adding to your weight, adding to your strength? It's additive. Also, a lot of people wind up having something notable happen in the area of pets. You might wind up having more pets. It expands your pet sector. If you have a pet that has been very hard on you, or a circumstance that has been difficult and restrictive or hard, basically, the energy of Jupiter can come and free you from some of that, whether it be that you find the right training for your pet, or whether you find a perfect match for a perfect home for a pet that wasn't well matched with you. Something that brings more freedom in the area of pets. or more in the area of pets, right? This additive. So it's hard to tell exactly what that will look like. Something else that is really cool about Jupiter in the 6th house is that it can bring more joy in your work. So even if you have busy work, even if you have more work, the odds that you'll enjoy doing it are increased. Also, if you need help because your business is growing or you have to hire people because that's your position at work, the odds of you finding people that can help you that will be a perfect match are increased. Not as much during Venus retrograde, again, because you're not seeing things clearly in love, beauty, and money, but as this transit progresses. So for those of you who have a later degree placement and Jupiter is just now starting to accentuate your 5th house, or you have like a late middle degree placement, you have a little bit more time of this 5th house being accentuated, you will likely see more fun in your life. You might have your true love come in. You might have more beneficial interactions with your children. If you're trying to get pregnant and you're having trouble with that, you could have that happen. If you have something going on with one of your kids or more of your kids and you need assistance with that, Jupiter can come and help you out there. If you are with your person that you want to be with, you can have more fun and romance with that person. Also, like I mentioned earlier, art, music, athletic talents, all are in that 5th house. So expansion of your creative expression is very likely when Jupiter is in that placement. So we have all that going on with Jupiter. Then we have, as I mentioned before, this new moon on August 14th, which is the first new moon in several months that is not encumbered by yuckiness. Gosh, we've had these new moons that have been encumbered by this, these transits that were heavy, and they basically have been stealing the thunder of the new moon. The new moon is this new opening, and you early degree placements will experience this new opening in the work sector, in the place where all the rest of the party is, some new chapter for work or for health or for pets or something like that. And the rest of you will experience new chapter in hobby, creativity, children, fun, vacation, relaxation. But new chapter opening in the middle of the month without any transits that are really conflicting with it. So that's exciting. Also remember, you have new moon wishes, you have 10 new moon wishes, and those wishes go further when you wish for things that are in line with the sign of the new moon. So when you wish for 5th house things, true love, creativity, children, hobbies, fun, pleasure, when you wish for things in those areas, your wishes will get boosted more. Okay, so then we have a full moon at the end of the month, August 29th, there's a full moon in Pisces. Whenever there's a full moon full moon period, we have a welling up, a shaking loose of emotions, a clearing out of your energy field. Whenever there's a full moon in a water sign like this one, there's more of a chance for excessive water something, and that could be both with flooding situations, so watch your houses and things you don't want to get wet. And that could be with emotions. The 12th house is also, which rules Pisces, is also the house of things going on behind the scenes, which in this case is like security. So internet security and other kinds of security. So you want to be more careful, especially Aries placements want to be more careful with their internet security and other things like that, because this is happening for you not only in the sign that rules these things, but it's also in the house for many of you that rules these things. That's like what I was saying before about everything with Aries is to the nth degree. So when something's in a certain sign, it's usually in that same house, which adds double energy to it. So this is a really good time to just have quiet time and rest and sabbatical and, just taking some time out. I feel the full moons several days before, so you might want to plan your little sabbatical or just quiet time a few days before the full moon and just take some time off, disconnect, get your security stuff involved, and then just take a little breather away from a lot of busy energy. That is perfect for Pisces time, and to have a little retreat by the water. Pisces also rules water. So I can't see what's going on in your personal chart. I like very much too. I do have a deeper, in some ways, understanding of Aries energy because I have Aries rising, and so the way that I go about doing things is very Aries, and I get all the problems that you may have and challenges and all of the gifts and offerings that you have just been, born with. I understand those things, so I'm happy to help you navigate through these things. And you can go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, or click on the link below this video. While you're there, definitely check out my new offering, Unleash Your Money Magnet. This is over 2 hours of power-packed information and energy clearing and reprogramming and deprogramming and just totally changing your money paradigm. Awesome tools to help you do that. And also look into my Shine program, which is a 28-day virtual coaching program, which comes with 28 videos and 28 podcasts, each for the 28 days of a moon cycle, which it takes to create new habits and break old ones. And that's available on a sliding scale. And when you sign up for my free email newsletter, you get monthly write-ups ahead of time of what's happening in the next month, so that you have a written version of some of the things I talk about. So I hope you have a wonderful month, wonderful August, and I'll see you next month. Bye.